2008, Richmond County Sheriff's Office received information that there were several subjects located on 242 Rummage Pack House Road in Richmond County near Elevate in an area of the county using a press to compress cocaine into kilo bricks for distribution. Members of the Sheriff's Office SRT team were called out to assist in surveillance of this residence. There was an officer there that was in the wood line beside the residence for several hours and reported all movements around the residence. He witnessed two men load up what we believed to be the press in a truck, and they left the residence. The truck was stopped down the road from the residence where deputies and the SBI agents confirmed that it was indeed a press with what they believed had cocaine residue in it. At the time, a decision was made for the SRT team to enter this residence. This officer provided cover from the tree line as they approached the residence. While attempting to enter the residence, the subject inside of the residence began shooting at the team, striking Deputy Robert Smith. Deputy Smith became disoriented and stumbled out into the field in front of the residence with no cover from the gunfire. Other SRT members took cover and began returning fire. When this officer saw that Deputy Smith was in the field, he then left his cover without considering his own safety and well-being and sprinted across 200 yards across the field to half drag and half carry approximately 100 yards Robert Smith to a neighboring residence where he stayed with him until he could be transported to the ambulance. The suspect was shot in the abdomen and was taken into custody, transported to the hospital. He now resides in federal prison. Several kilos of cocaine were recovered and several assault weapons and handguns and ammunition. This incident occurred at a time when Sheriff Dale B. Furr was the lead law enforcement officer in this community. It was his vision and his dream that put together the SRT team that we may go out and deal with those high-risk situations to protect and preserve the staff, community, and all businesses in Richmond County. These officers who are dedicated to the SRT team are willing at any time to put their life on the line for the citizens of this county in which we live. And it is because of their bravery, their sacrifice, and their courage that we're able to enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy today. And at this time, I would like to ask the Honorable Sheriff Dale Furr to step forward to present this token and present this award to that individual as he renders his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. I have to excuse my voice today. I've been a little bit under the weather for the last few days, the last while anyway. I'm going to ask Travis Bohman to come up. When you sheriff or chief of police, I've been in both positions. I've been in patrol and I've been in the leadership role. And when you're in the patrol or the everyday workings of law enforcement, you don't realize what all a sheriff or chief of police or a lieutenant, first sergeant of the highway patrol has on his mind, like worrying about if you're going to be safe, especially if you're going to make it through the day. I've mentioned to my wife and a lot of my close friends over the years that the biggest fear that I had while I was sheriff for 16 years and chief deputy for 9 years was that one of the people that was working for me would be killed or seriously hurt in the line of duty. Fortunately, during that time, nobody was killed. Did have some serious injuries, but thank God they all made it through. As a sheriff or chief of police, the only thing that you can do is hire the best men that you can, buy the best equipment that you can possibly buy, and train those men to use that equipment and to stay safe. Then it's kind of out of your hands. You know, you can encourage them every day to stay safe, be careful, but you can't go on every call with them. You can't be there every minute like you'd like to. Then when you get that call that comes over the radio that says officer down, it's a resounding thing that just makes time stop. And you wonder who it is. And then all at the same time, you really don't want to know. It doesn't matter. It's one of your people that's down. He's hurt. He needs help. And I know that every law enforcement officer in the county that day, in the 40 years that I spent in law enforcement, when that call goes out, they all go. Caution to the wind. Don't get in their way. Because they're going to help their fellow officer. That's one thing in law enforcement that's not changed. I'm particularly proud of Travis. You try as a sheriff or the leader of a law enforcement agency not to have favorites. But I got to admit, since I'm retired now, Travis, you were one of my favorites. I knew Travis would, there's an old expression old folks used to use called standing hitched. If you had a good horse, he'd stand hitched. He wouldn't fight the traces. You know, he'd be there. One particular day up on Highway 220, we had a little incident. Some folks tried to get away in a pickup truck. Travis jumped in the back of the pickup truck. And last time we seen him, he was, going away. Well, we finally, got the situation under control, and I told Travis that day, Travis, I appreciate your bravery, and I really appreciate your dedication, but please don't do that anymore. But I didn't break his spirit, because on that day, he laid down his life just like every law enforcement officer in this country will do, not only for each other, but for all of you. They will readily lay down their life to save your life, and to save a fellow officer's life. We, law enforcement officers, are not perfect. We make mistakes. There's some people who probably shouldn't be wearing a badge. Just like there's some preachers that probably shouldn't be preaching in church. It's just a matter of fact. Some folks manage to get themselves in positions they don't need to be in. But as a whole, law enforcement officers are honorable, hard-working, dedicated men who every day when they leave, when they go out that door, they don't think about it. It's in the back of your mind. Every day you don't realize what you're going to be faced with. It's called a roller coaster effect. That's why so many police officers, highway patrol officers die young. You go up, you know, you're going down the road 100 miles an hour, you got the siren going, and you're up here, and all of a sudden the dispatcher says, 1022, it's over with, or it's a false call, and then you back down to here. And that adrenaline flood. It's not just the problem of getting shot or hurt in a car wreck, but the effect that it has on you physically. But there's not one man that I know of that's ever worn a badge that's not proud that he wore it. And for 40 years, I knew that it was the only thing I ever wanted to do. And I thank God for allowing me to be part of the greatest brotherhood that's ever been or ever will be. I've got I could have done that. A Medal of Valor presented to you today, Travis Bohman, for the valor, the bravery that you showed that day when you went out across that field under fire to get Roberts and cover. I know that you did that day and you didn't think about doing it, you just did it, it was part of your job. But I know that there was 8 or 10 other people there that day that would have done the same thing. The whole SRT team that was there that day, I appreciate the job you did. You know, the effect that it had on me was, like I said, you know, it's just something that you can't, it's almost like one of your children getting hurt. It's that type of fear. Travis, congratulations. It's well deserved. You're a good officer, good deputy sheriff, and you're a good man. And I'm proud to have had you work for me.